Hey, Yetta, GICs are looking pretty enticing now at 5 or 6%.
That it is interesting.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.
We are excited to welcome you to another episode of Life's Inside Track. I'm Yetta Dekker.
And I'm Ken Dekker.
And it's where we get to share techniques, thoughts, tips, tools that we all deserve. We all need, you, I, everyone, so we can turn our house into a home, our families thrive, and we live the best life possible. We're going to consider that even in tougher times, tougher economic times, I would say, because maybe we're not having tough times at home, but we're having tougher economic times. Is leverage or using leverage still a good idea?
Well, we were talking right before the show, and you were saying stretch, not stress. Talk to us about that, because when you leverage, you can create a little bit more stress or stretching of your mindset, what you're comfortable with, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, it's true, because we don't want to over leverage. I think leverage has gotten a bad rap, even when the market's not tougher, and an even bigger rap when the market is tougher. And over leveraging, we are not proponents of it. Have we ever done it? We've gotten close to the edge.
Oh, yeah.
Where we've over leveraged.
Where we go, oh, cash flow is pretty tight.
Right. So that would be a clue that you're thinking of over leveraging when your cash flow is super tight. Right? It could be that you're spending too much money. So that's a conversation for a different episode that we've done. But if we're talking this time with the markets being tougher, the thing I'm hearing so many people say is it can't be a good idea. It can only be a bad idea to leverage right now when leveraging is harder to do wisely and well without stressing myself out.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's what point in your life are you at? What's your comfort level with risk? And, like a GIC, like I said, right now, guaranteed investment certificates at the bank, paying 4.5, 5, 5.75 I've seen. I think I saw 6 on one of them. So these are guaranteed rates of return on your cash money.
Right.
So they serve a great purpose. If you have cash that you're accumulating or cash that you're holding, waiting for an opportunity, that's a great place to put the money. It's guaranteed, it's safe. And, if you have room in your TFSA, that's a great place to put it, because interest is taxable the year it's earned. Not when you take it out, but as soon as it's earned. So if you're making, let's say you make $5,000 or $6,000, then you're going to pay tax on that $5,000-6,000 immediately next year.
Even if it's still sitting in the bank.
Even if you didn't touch it.
Because it's an interest, and interest has no preferential treatment.
No.
Interest is at the highest tax rate.
That's right.
That you're paying.
Yeah.
The interest is a very highly taxed income
great
source.
Place to put in your TFSA if you're saving it for a future investment or something, because you can pull it out of your TFSA within a year. You can put all that money back in, not within a year, sorry, after a year. If you've used up your room and you take it out, you have to wait 1 year, and then you can put it all back in if you want.
Right.
So TFSAs are great. You're not going to pay any tax on that.
And it's a great place to pull in and out of to get access to a large sum of money, because it's now getting to be a pretty big amount if you've been putting in your maximum allowable every year or caught yourselves up. So the stretch and stress thing, I just want to touch on it a tiny bit more, because I said what stress is. Stress is when you feel like you're going to break. Like it's going to cost you everything.
You can't sleep. You're having nightmares.
You're wondering where you're going to buy what you're going to buy groceries with. You're starting to be concerned that you can't pay your bills. You're starting to miss some payments. That is stress. That does not feel good. And we would never advocate leveraging when that's what you're going to create for yourself or for your family. Stretching, on the other hand, is a really healthy thing. I mean, if you've been listening to Life's Inside Track episodes, you heard that Virginia was on last week, actually, and she talked about stretching, and that stretching is required to actually keep your body working optimally.
Yeah.
And I would say stretching financially is also required to optimally get what you have working for you. So it may not feel comfortable if you haven't done it before. It may feel a little twinge of discomfort, but it's not painful. So just like think about it like you would your body. Like
leveraging the equity that you have in your home, you may take some of it out to invest, but not all of your equity. You're going to leave 20, 30% in, and you're going to take out some others and then maybe buy another property. So I look at it like I've divided my equity into 2 properties now, but I still have the same equity.
Right. So investment properties and the thought of investing has always been a good idea as long as you're not over leveraged. So, and it continues to be a good idea. For what reasons primarily?
Well, the fundamentals don't change, whether you're in a tough market or a booming market or a slow market or a stalled market. It doesn't matter. The basics of real estate still exist, the fundamentals, and that is cash flow. Can you get cash flow? Means positive cash flow from the rent after you paid all your expenses. There's still extra money each month.
And I'm just going to pause you there for a minute. There's lots of people that don't believe if they're not in a season where they need cash flow, they're okay to have a negative cash flow.
Yep.
So that's a give or take and really needs to be assessed on an individual basis.
Yeah, property, the type of property, where the property is, all kinds of things. The second is mortgage pay down. Every time you pay a mortgage payment, like let's say the mortgage payment's $3,000 and your tenant's paying the majority of that or all of it, then probably about $1,200, $1,300 a month of that is mortgage pay down. So that's automatically like dropping money in your bank account every month. And then there's equity growth, which is the values of properties are going to increase. Are they going to increase this year or next? Not sure. We might see a small increase. We might see no increase. But the point is like the 10-year, the 20-year average, they're all around 5% is the average in real estate. So buying real estate is a long-term wealth building tool. It's not a short-term get rich, get money, get cash flow. Right. It's not about cash flow, really. It's about wealth building.
Right. And so there are some people that flip houses and those can work. We're not necessarily talking about those specifically here. We're saying that's a different conversation. And if you want to have this conversation or any conversation, the first thing you need to do is get connected with us. And that's as simple as send us an email together at dekkerteam.com and we'll stay connected with you on an ongoing basis, giving you the insider insights in addition to what we're sharing on these shows and answering your questions and even having one-on-one conversations.
So beyond those fundamentals, and then there's a couple more fundamentals like, leverage, because you're not putting 100% of the property value down. You're putting maybe 20% down and buying the property. So leverage will amplify the results.
Yeah.
Okay.
So good, right?
Yeah. And then there's tax preferential service on rentals, because you don't pay tax on the growth until you sell it. And when you sell it, it's preferential tax rate at half the rate for capital gains. So it's amazing what's there. Now, in a rough market, a tougher market, we got to look at other things that we can leverage. And we're going to really dive deep into those in the next segment.
Yeah. So really the point is it still works.
Yeah.
So what ideas do you have? Like, what are you prepared to do? Where are you prepared to stretch so that you can actually still build wealth, even in a tougher market?
And we're grateful to be positioning you to build wealth wisely, because it's about much more than just money.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker